Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to another episode of the Deen Diaries. I am Shaibu Hikmat, and today I want to talk to you about one of the concepts which is in the heart of our faith, in the heart of our iman, okay, which is trusting what Allah's timing. In an era where we often want to get everything very easy and very fast, we have to know that trusting Allah's timing is something very difficult, but sometimes it's challenging, yes, but it is worth it. When you trust Allah's timing and you wait, the benefits of it is always sometimes very overwhelming, very massive. So let's look at the story of one of the greatest prophets in Islam, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah tested him a lot, but he was able to pass every single test that came his way. Let's look at the situation where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to take his wife Hajar and then his son Ismail to the middle of the desert. He took them there, and when he got there, Allah instructed him to do what? To leave his wife and his child over there. And according to some narrations, Prophet Ibrahim didn't have a child. Yes, he couldn't get a child until the age of 86 years. So imagine at the age of 86 years old, you are able to get a child, and after that, finally, Allah instructs you to go and then do what? Leave your wife and your child in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a desert. How would you feel? Like, how would you react if it was to be you? But you know what Nabi Ibrahim did? He accepted, he submitted to the will of Allah. He trusted Allah. And then he left his wife and his child there and made a dua. What was the dua? He made dua that Allah should protect them and also incline people's hearts towards his wife and then his child. And then he left. This is a very great test, you know. So when Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam left his wife and his child there, he had reasons, right? Because he trusted Allah. He trusted Allah's plans. He knew that Allah wouldn't forsake him. He knew that Allah wouldn't let him do something like that without a reason. He knew that Allah plans best. Okay? And at the end of it, what happened? At the end of it, that valley of Makkah became what? It became Makkah, where they ended up building the Kaaba there, where people came to settle over there. And you know, it became a very big place for, you know, marketing and other stuff. That is Allah's planning. When you trust Allah, Allah would never forsake you. So sometimes if some things are delaying or Allah puts us in a particular test, let's know that Allah is testing us for a particular reason. Sometimes we focus on, you know, wanting the test to pass very fast, and we always tend to forget that that test that we are in, it actually has unique opportunities where we can, you know, try and then connect to Allah. Sometimes Allah brings us this test just to bring us closer to Him. That was not the only test that Allah, you know, gave Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. You know, he used to visit Ismail and his mother Hajar. That was when he left them at the valley of Kaaba, at the valley of Makkah. He used to visit them once in a while and go back to Sham and come back. So around that time, what happened again? He had a dream, and Allah told him to do what? Sacrifice his only son, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Just imagine, after getting this son around the age of 86 years, Allah asks you to go and leave your son and your wife in the middle of the desert. Later on, Allah asks you to sacrifice the same son that you suffered to get. Although Allah gave you that son, yes. This is a very great test. And what did Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam did? What did he do? He submitted to the will of Allah. He informed his son, and his son said that if that is what Allah wants, I submit. And although it was a very challenging situation, he still did what? He still went on ahead to carry out the mission. And what did Allah do at the end? Allah didn't let him kill the son. He miraculously gave him, you know, exchanged the son with what? A sheep. So that is the beauty of trusting Allah's timing. You You understand? Allah would never let you pass through a difficulty without a reason. There is always a wisdom behind it. So let's know how to trust Allah. So what lessons can we learn from this the story of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam? One, we learned that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam had patience. He had patience and he trusted Allah's timing, knowing that Allah wouldn't forsake him, knowing that whatever that happens, Allah is still going to bring out the best out of the test. Okay, so as in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 216 says that perhaps you dislike something which is good for you, and perhaps you like something which is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. And Nabi Ibrahim understood this. He understood that maybe the things that he disliked, they were actually good for him, and the things that he liked, they were bad for him. He liked that he wouldn't have left his wife and then his child in the desert, right? But it was something actually good for him. Right now in that desert is where Ruwan Zamzam is located, the water of Zamzam, the holy water, where we do what? That water that we are so enjoying now, we are so drinking, the holy water. And it is that valley that the Kaaba is built. That is where the Kaaba is, the house of Allah. Okay, where we go on pilgrimage to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you understand, Nabi Ibrahim understood that when he is patient with whatever that Allah asks him to do and submits, something huge, something massive is going to come out of it. Something beneficial is going to come out of it. It's going to be very rewarding. And that's why he submitted to the will of Allah. And then secondly, we learned that we have to make dua when we are faced with challenges, when we are faced with trials and tests. We have to make dua, as the Prophet Ibrahim did. When he left his wife and his child in the valley of Makkah, what did he do? He made dua to Allah to provide for his wife and his child, and also incline people's heart towards them. And it actually happened. So this tells us that even when we are faced with challenges and trials, we should still make dua to Allah. Let's trust that the dua that we are going to make, Allah is going to do what? Allah will listen to us and will grant us that dua, will make it become a reality. And we should also know that when we are faced with trials and tribulations, we shouldn't focus on when is this hardship going to end, when is all these things going to end. But let's sometimes also try and then appreciate and then look at the unique opportunities this trial is always giving us. Sometimes there are unique opportunities to where we can get closer to Allah when we are faced with trials. Let's say you are barren, you are not giving birth. Look at your life at that moment. Probably you are not as close to Allah. Probably you are involved in a haram, and Allah is giving you a chance by not giving you a child, so that you do what? You pray to him. You wake up in the middle of the night to perform tahajjud, to ask for a child, to seek for his forgiveness, which draws you closer to Allah. So sometimes these tests are always meant to draw us closer to Allah, and they always have a lot of benefits. If Allah is not granting you something at a particular time, you should know that that is not the perfect time for it. Trust in Allah's timing. That's not the perfect time for it. Allah might grant you the money at that moment that you are asking. Probably it's not going to benefit you at that moment. Probably in the future when he grants it to you, that is where it's going to benefit you. Sometimes we see these celebrities who want to be like them. And I want to be like this person. But you don't know the kind of depression they are going through. You don't know the kind of addiction they are going through. How can we apply these lessons to our own lives, to our daily lives? Okay, one, we have to be obedient and be patient. We have to be obedient to Allah. Okay, whatever that Allah asks us to do, we should do it. No matter how difficult it is, we should try and do it. Okay, and then secondly, let's be obedient to Allah. Let's trust Allah's timing. Let's be patient. When we ask for something, let's be patient enough to wait. Let's not always think that the delay is always deprivation. Probably Allah is denying our dua. No, probably Allah is telling you that not yet. This is not the perfect time to grant you that dua. And if Allah doesn't even grant you that dua, probably that is what is best for you. In Surah Al-Anfal, I think verse 30, it says that, remember how those who bent on denying the truth plotted against you to imprison you or kill you or expel you. They planned, but Allah also planned, and Allah is what? The best of planners. Allah's plan is always the best. Allah's time is the best. So when we are asking Allah for something, let's always be patient. Let's always have sabr and wait, because Allah knows what He is doing. Delaying doesn't mean that He is denying you that dua. It doesn't mean that He is depriving you. It doesn't mean deprivation. Probably He's telling you that not yet. Okay, so let's try and then trust Allah's time, because He knows exactly what He is doing. Thirdly, let's also try to strengthen our faith. Let's have faith in Allah and know that whatever that He plans for us is the best, and believe in His timing. Let's trust His timing. Let's put ourselves on the schedule of Allah. Okay, and whoever that puts his trust in Allah, Allah is sufficient for him. Let's remember that, and always not focus on when is this trial going to end, but always focus on the uniqueness of the opportunities that these trials always, bring out to us. Okay, so in all, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam's story teaches us that we should be patient, make dua, trust in Allah, and do what? Straighten our faith. Okay, for Allah's time is always the best. Okay, so we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant us patience and would grant us the ability to be able to trust His timing. Okay, may Allah forgive us wherever that we've wronged, and also grant us patience. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you next time on the Deen Diaries. Bye.